Hi, a minute ago you were balanced on top of a cereal box, and that turned out very badly for you. So now you're at a slightly lower level where you're less likely to fall over. I'm Lee, and usually I'll send you a little postcard about my creative life from my home in the East Riding of Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. But today I'm at my parents' place in New Zealand, and I thought I would talk to you about the projects that I put in my suitcase and brought with me. The first one is one that you've already seen. This is the Lieve Milena Cardigan by Joanna Ann, but I think I'm a little further along than I was last time. So there's the front, and it will pretty much sit on me like this. And I have 3 balls of yarn attached to this at the moment because you knit the fronts 2 at a time. So I've got 2 balls attached there, and I've got the cable there with stoppers on, so that when I have time and space to get the chart out, because I still follow the chart at this point, then I can just pop the needles on here and carry on with that. But when I just want to do some plain knitting, I can carry on down the back just with plain stocking stitch, and you can see I'm just halfway through a row here. So I think I told you before that I have adjusted the pattern so that it's entirely top down because I want to make it as long as possible, and to make best use of the yarn that I've got. So I'm going to carry on down the back until I finish this ball of yarn, which as you can see is not very big, and then I'm going to start on the sleeves. I want to have a full length sleeve on this cardigan, and so once I've knitted those, I'll know how long I can make the body. And I think what I'm going to do, the sleeves actually, what the pattern has you do is to seam the side and then to knit the sleeve on. And I think what I'm actually going to do is to knit the sleeves separately and sew them on at the end. So once I've finished this little nugget, I will start on the sleeves. I'm toying with the idea of doing them 2 at a time. I've never done that before. Yeah, it's working for the front. And I suppose I have no problem with knitting sleeves. I know some people are sort of like, oh my god, I have to knit another sleeve, and that's totally not me. You know, sleeves, I've got 2 arms, knit 2 sleeves, so what? Yeah, but I might try knitting them 2 at a time. I've got another spare cable with me. I think I've got another spare cable, I can do that. And then I can use all of the remaining yarn just to knit the torso of the cardigan and finish that off. I need to catch up with the patterned bit down the front, so that definitely needs to be significantly longer. Yeah, and I'm knitting this with Dorerum Natura Ulysses, which is a lovely yarn, and just chugging along with that. And I am kind of pleased that I brought something along that had some interest for when I want that, and some plain knitting for when I want something plain as well. I've been feeling a bit bummed that I didn't bring a pair of socks, but really this is filling that void, and I think that when I get to the sleeves, that's basically just a tube like socks. So yeah, that should be pretty straightforward. So that's the first project that I bought, and I also bought a little sewing kit as well. So I bought this a few weeks ago, probably more than a few weeks ago now. So this is by, is it Corinne Lapierre? I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I'm not sure if she's in Yorkshire. Yes, based in Yorkshire, that's what it says on the back. Yeah, she's someone that is based in Yorkshire, and I had come across her quite a few years ago at the Harrogate Knitting and Stitching Show, and I didn't buy anything off her at that time, but I thought this would be a fun little kit to make a little Christmas decoration. She has a 12 Days of Christmas line, and so I've just picked up the Turtle Dove kit. Everything you need except for a pair of scissors maybe is all in here, and so I have it all in a little plastic container. These are the instructions, and I've wound all my threads onto cards. I think it's odd, you get sort of like a standard selection of threads, so there's a lot of colours in here that I'm not going to use, but I guess I can use those for other things. And so what I did, yeah, you get quite a few threads. And a friend of mine said she had ordered one kit and it just had the standard selections of threads in it, and she ran out of the colours that she needed, so that was a little bit of a shame. With the pieces, I cut them out and I had glued them onto cardboard, and then I cut them out so that I could trace around them and reuse them pretty easily. So yeah, and I've just started the first bit of that. I'll complete cutting it out when I've actually done the stitching. Yeah, I thought it might be, mind you, I haven't. I thought it might be easier to do the stitching on a slightly larger piece of fabric, but as you can see, I've mostly cut this out anyway. Yeah, so I've just started stitching on the first little bit there, and I've got all the pieces traced onto the felt. I think what I'll do, I don't think there's quite enough of this colour to do two, but I do have some more of this wool felt. I've got one of the packs from the same person, a colour pack. Yeah, so I've got, but I've definitely got enough to do another of the wings there. And these are all the little feathery bits that go on. You'll see that you stitch those little teardrops on, and it's double-sided. There was a needle in the pack and a little bit of ribbon to hang it up with. So yeah, that was the other thing that I've brought with me that I can just carry on with every now and then and keep going. The other little project that Mum and I have been working on, Mum has a couple of bird feeders, and she has one, a fat feeder just outside here on the street with some, it's got fat in it, fat and a mixture of other stuff. She calls, there's a, she has a little group of wax eyes out the front here that like the fat feeders, so she calls it wax eye porridge. I have no idea what is in this. It'll be some concoction that she's made up. And she puts this lump of fat into a netting bag, the type that you get fruit in and things like that. And then all these little wax eyes come and hang off the side and eat this lump of fat. But she's been really upset because the starlings, which sort of maraud like a group of teenagers, have been coming along and eating all the fat, and of course the wax eyes don't get a look in because they're much bigger birds, but they have to balance on top of this little feeder that she hangs from the tree out the front. And so she's been trying to, they can't cling to the sides of it like the wax eyes do, they sort of cling underneath it. So she had been trying to thwart the starlings, and I think we've finally done it. We cut out a little circle of plastic and we hung it above the feeder so that the starlings can't stand on top. And so all of the little wax eyes are back. I think I've taken some really bad photographs, so I might insert them in this video, or I might try and take some more video. I think they've nearly finished the fat ball for today, so that might not be very much fun. And the thing is, if I go and stand out there, they won't come. And so if I do take some video or a photo, I have to do it through the window, so it might not be particularly clear, but I'll give it a shot. So I've been sitting here drinking my coffee and actually watching the little wax eyes enjoy their morning feast without being thwarted by the evil starlings. So yes, anyway, it's been lovely to chat with you and share a little bit of, well, the things that I've bought in my suitcase, and I shall talk to you again soon. Cheerio.